G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to teach beginners how to paint things in acrylic paint. I only paint in acrylic. A lot of people have asked, is it oil or acrylic? But I only paint in acrylics on my paintings. And this is going to be the Golden Gate Bridge. You saw the picture in the opening credits there, not too bad. Sizes are up there as well. And I'll also put some colours up the screen there, running up the screen for you. They're the ones that I'm going to use. All right, I've done a bit of a layout in pencil here. So what I'll do, I'm going to bring you right over here and show you just what I'm up to and how I'm going to put the first, second and third up to the last section of the painting in. So I'm virtually working from the back forward, all right? And this painting is just going to surprise you just how simple it is and how great it can look. So come on, let's get right into it. So I've got my horizon line about here. I've got the foreground here. There's some mountains in the midground where the bridge is coming onto there. Now this bridge curve, you just sort of come up like that. Not too high, and it'll look like it's coming around. So I'm going to put the sky in first. Okay, I'm going to use my soft acrylic paint, soft bodied paint, which I call craft white. That's just what I call it. It's like student paint, poster paint. I'm mixing that with the retarder to keep it wet for a while, and I will put the background of the sky on with this. So you can see where I want to bring this. I don't need this under where I'm going to add detail and stuff, because even though I dry this with my hairdryer, it can still be rubbery underneath, and if I'm pressing too much on the paints above it, it can cause dramas. So I just bring this, because it's 90% of the time I'm only blending my skies with the retarder. The rest is just done au naturel. So I'll get all this onto the sky footprint, just like there. Doesn't matter if I go beyond it a bit. Okay, now I'll go to the tip of this brush and I'm just going to stroke it left and right, just like that. All right, next colour you might want to ask is the colour of your sky. I want to have mine sort of dotty, like grey, patches of blue. So I'm going to get the grey where I want it and the blue where I want it, okay? Now I want the grey at least on the horizon line here. Bring it up to about there. And I want to just get scattered bits of grey within this prime surface here. Bits of grey here like that. This will add all the open pockets. So I'm going to stroke that just left and right now, just like that. That is a little bit too grey. I've just picked up some more of that white just to push it down. There we go. Now I'm going to clean this, just wipe this brush very well and add the blue into there. All right, so I'm picking up the cerulean blue in my brush, and I want to load the brush up in a way so I can control where I want this in the sky. Now, see roughly where I want some there. I'm stamping it on. Get it across here like that. Find bits in your sky. Bring it around like there. Pick up some more. I'm coming all over here, just like that. All over here. I'm just stamping it on, I'm not brushing it in. Probably about there, faded it there. Now I want to wipe the brush and just gently push that into the sky. So I'll wipe the brush and we'll gently, there we go, get this into the sky. The sky's white and blue. We can get some of this down into that grey if you feel it's too grey. I feel mine is. I'm going to wipe the brush again. And go again, push some of this crisscross. There we go, see the movement I'm getting in my sky there? There we go. And the white underneath is lessening the vibrancy of that blue. All right, that'll do. Okay, down here I have a red violet, a violet colour. And I'm going to use this just to put on some cloud shadow. And just where I want this peekaboo, I'm going to put this on, just bits like this, feathering around, let it chisel out. I want all sorts like this. I'll do this bit here first just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing these kind of motions because that's the kind of clouds that I want sweeping in the sky. So I'm going to grab a blending brush and I just want to blend, let's say from the bottom, just dance that into the wet sky there like so. Just like that. Now you need a kitchen towel or a cloth or a rag just to wipe the constant build-up from when you're blending. You're going to get build-up on your brush, okay? So getting some of these darker values within our sky colour here, because they're coming down in silhouette and the sun's sort of ready to come down and highlight some of these. So I'm going to do this all over the sky with that red violet, just where I feel I want some of it to be. I want some of it to be here within the blue. See the white bits? I'm taking advantage of the white bits. Let's blend that before I go too far. Control your blending, do bits at a time. Don't do the whole lot, because if it starts to dry on you, you're going to have grief and you'll be saying, good grief. And we're getting just this colour within our sky. Wipe your brush. It's important to keep wiping your brush when blending, the way I blend anyway. Just play with it. Let the clouds make up their own ways. Okay, something there. Okay, let's just finish that off. Then we're going to get that titanium white, and that's going to add some luster and lusciousness to these clouds. See, I'm blending that. It's not too much. That's why I say you practice. Once you practice and you know your movements, when you're doing your painting, you're not going to be too nervous that you're going to ruin it, because you already know what you're going to do. And if you can't do clouds as quick and easy as me, which I don't expect everyone to do, it just means you need practice. It took me many years to get to where I am. Right, now we're going to add some white to that. Just picked up another fan brush, got a bit of violet there, and I want to get this. I'm going to use a clean blending brush too now. And so, see, like this cloud here, see the bottom of it? I'll just show you with this. Come from that colour, just down in the blue a little bit. Control the size of it, because the cloud's not that big. I don't want to go and put an uncontrolled big blob of white there. Okay, just like that. Get rid of that other brush. Now I'm grabbing a clean blending brush, because that other one is all contaminated. And I want to gingerly blend that into the bottom of that cloud there. We can always add dark back if it's not going the way you want. Leave a bit of yumminess there. Boom, see there? And we're going to do the same again with a lot of this. Get it where you want within the cloud. Some here, some there, dotting it around. The more you do clouds, the more you get comfortable in knowing where and how to put your paint. It's all a big learning curve. It takes time and practice. Boom. And that's adding a bit more realistic values to our sky, instead of it being a certain not light tempo. It's given it a bit of a real tempo, I feel. Leave some yumminess in there. This one here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You can put any type of sky, a warm sky, a cool sky. I'm just going for this flavour, something different to do. I don't want to do the same sky in every video. I know I do a lot of skies, but you know. Now see here, I'll break that up with a bit of white as well. So my mountain's going to be about there, the hill, so we'll put some of this, flip-flop it in front of there, just to break up some of that sky, something there. When you put these in the grey, it sort of adds beautiful charisma. Something there. If that's no, I don't think that's under the bridge. These lines way in there, they add distance and depth, I've discovered when I've done clouds. Now we want to kind of bring this into that grey. It's going to be pushed back by the mountain. Bits of vibrant bits and dull bits, lighter, brighter bits and duller bits, see there. I'll pull that across, pull. So now I can dry this sky, ready to do the rest of my painting, bring everything forward, all right? I want to mix up the distant mountains now in the background, so I've just got some permanent alizarin and I'm going to mix it with the rest of this cerulean blue just to get that distant mountain colour look. All right, that'll do. There's going to be, there's my horizon line all the way across here, right to here. Now, beyond here, there's going to be some, let's say about here. This is the distant mountain right in the background. I'm coming along here, just making this till it goes to this mountain here. And I want to bring this down. So I'll just go to there. Find a picture of San Francisco where the Golden Gate Bridge is and just get a rough idea. Make it your own. I'm just using that area as the subject for this painting. There's so many different pictures of it around the place. And we're just going to bring this down to the horizon line, which is there. I've got another mountain or bit of high land coming in front of this. So we'll bring that to where it's going to go. And we'll just pop that in like that. I'm just using a flat brush, use a fill, but anything that's going to give you the desired shape you want. Now some of the white on the palette, I'm mixing that with that colour that's in the brush, just so as I can create more distance, probably right here. The paint's still wet, so it'll merge better. Get that a bit land shaped up there, and we're going to just blend this into there like so. That way it'll make that look like it's going that way, long way away. I'm going to have a bridge in front of a lot of this anyway. I'm just doing some blending now, wet blending carefully. Okay, down here I've got some perylene green. Now I'm just going to use a filbert brush. I'll get this a bit damp. And I want these other mountains right in the distance. So I'm going to use some white now and mix with this. And this will put atmosphere between you and these mountains. So like I said, my horizon line's about here. This is going to come about to there. And this is going to dribble in front of that. A lot of this is under the bridge. And work on your top shape first. So I've got to keep it within that grey there. There we go. And then you can dry this and add some darker values, lighter values, whatever you feel values it's going to need. I want that about there. So I'm going to map in all this. Now I've dried it, this half here where my pylon's going to be, I've just gone and put a bit more second coat there. This bit here I want to dull it down a bit. So I'm going to grab a bit more white and get a lighter value of that. Just here, that's quite noticeable and different. And just from where my pylon's going to be, just probably this side here, I want to kind of make this a bit more distant, so I'm tapping this in there now. You can leave bits of the dark in there if you want down the bottom. Might be a brush on the board, whatever. Scrumble this in, just let it tear in. It's not a solid, it's just kind of washed within that darker colour underneath it. And I want to add a little bit of darker into here. So I've got the perylene green and I'm going to add a bit more onto this side of that pile. So you got 1, 2, 3 values there. And we'll just add some darker values, mainly at the bottom. And scatter it up and through within there as well, just to create, I don't know, back and forward parts of the structure, the mass of it all. Alright, now we can dry that and get on with the next part of the painting. Now I've dried that, I'm going to grab myself some masking tape and me horizon, get it level. There's me horizon there, okay, so I've got to swap this back up to there. And I'm only going to push where my thumbs are, keep it level, where my thumbs are, and just at the bottom there, just to get it on there. I'm not going to rub the living buggery out of it, just here. Now what I want to do is put the water on, but I don't know if you can see, the water's going to come across to some land here, so I'll just paint this in and then we'll do the rest. Now I'm just grabbing some simple soft acrylic white paint, craft white actually, no retarder in this, and I want to map in the water. I'll come all the way across the bottom here, map the whole bottom of where the water's going. I mean, I've got a mass of land there, I don't have to have too much of it there. And now I want to get the water probably from about here back, okay? I'll get all that mapped in there anyway. Now the water's going to have a light and a darker value, so I've just got me colours again, the permanent alizarin and I'm just using a smaller flat brush, and the cerulean blue. So I want to get a darker value of this made up. Now that white paint on the canvas is going to help these colours blend. And from about here, coming all the way, it's going to be about there. So I'll pretty much want this, I'll just stamp it in roughly where I want it, all the way along to there, okay? That's roughly where I want it, so I'll get all this stamped onto that white value there, just like this. Now you can brush it on and try brushing it on, see what happens. I'm just doing it this way, getting it there first, then I can start pushing it on. Where's the end of that tape? Oh, the tape's way up there, I didn't reach it enough. Okay, right up there. Now I'll get this, it's going to waterify itself as we go. Boom, nice full strokes all the way across, just like that said the guru. All right, that's not too bad. Looks quite waterfied. It's lineal, it's flat, it's not all over the place. Now I'm just picking up the cerulean blue, but I do want it a bit brighter than that, so I'll put some over here. Our water area, so it's all the way along, stamp it in. All the way along here, stamp it in. Stamp it in up to there. Now I want to stroke this. There we go. We're getting to the darker colour there, beautiful. Long strokes, waterifying that colour. Get a bit more of it up here. I'm mixing up some more, ran out. Get a bit more of it there. Here, I want it a lot brighter as it's coming down. Now I'm going to waterify that, which is in cahoots with the horizon line. There we go. Now I'm going to get pretty much just the white on its own, that craft white, and really get some lighter values in here. Right along here. Oh yeah, there we go. I want this really bright here. Right there. Push it in, push it in. Now waterify it, waterify it. There we go. If you feel you've lost too much of your dark, just simply add it back. Now we can take this tape off. I'm just going to grab a flat brush and just see if I can hurt some of that white. There we go, and just kind of stamp it on. It can be a bit splashing up over there like so. Now I've got some burnt umber, I'll pull it out here, and I want to mix my sand colour. It's a bit too bright, we'll get it a bit darker. Get this to the value you want, and we'll just slice and scallop and brush this into the bottom right corner of the painting. So that paint's still wet. I'll get this here into the white bit first, just where it's going to go. Okay, stroke it, there we go. Now we can start putting it into the water just gingerly. And what I mean by gingerly is get it like that, okay? It can sort of scoot around there. I'm going to wipe the build-up off the brush, or even with a rag, and dry blend. See if I can use this brush to scrumble that just a very little bit into that blue. It's very wet. Now wipe your brush, simply add maybe a darker values here and there because that paint's still wet. So I'll just slice in some, just something like this. Oh, where are we? Something there. Wipe the living buggery out of that brush and kind of sink that into there, but without any brush strokes, if you can help it. You might have to dry it, which I will do, and I'll show you what happens when we dry it, because that's just too wet. And if a beginner's trying that, they're going to be pulling their hair out. Now, I've had the slightest bit of permanent alizarin to that and brought some of the darker colour back, just to get a darker but a redder value within it. And we'll add those darker bits where the white water's going to sit on. So I pretty much want like there. This is what the water's going to sit on, and it's going to pull. I might have dried it a bit too much, but that's okay. Get some of those darker bits you're trying to put on, and you just sort of dry rubbing some of this in. There's some more of that colour there. We'll get a bit of it coming up here somewhere. Nice and tight against there and fairing away. So this side is the fairy away bit, like see here, I'll show you here. Fairing away, have drag marks in it, whatever. And the other side is hard. Now the white I'm going to use is titanium white with that same flat brush, not this craft white everywhere, that's too see-throughy and thin and weak. And we're going to just put this on, let's say nice and tight against this bit here. So I'll show you, watch, nice and tight against some of that, okay, boom, put some of it on, wipe the living buggery out of your brush, but don't wipe it in all the brown like I just did, and blur some of this back into the water, but do it straight away. If you let it go too long, it'll be dry and it won't work. Just the top half of it, not the bottom half. The top half into the water there. And we're going to just add bits of slight but subtle turmoil within our water. Now see here, why I did that, I want to bring a little bit around like that, boom. Some more washing out into there. Just along here, crisping along that dark bit. And maybe a nice band of it coming along here. We come from about here. Oh, that's wet paint there. There we go, look at that. Boom. Let me look in the camera and see how that's coming across. That's doing okay. It's creating that vibe that I want. The watery vibe. You can probably have little bits that came up. Oh, don't worry about that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. They sort of come up the sand there like that a bit. Okay, I've dried everything. I've got some marks up there and down the bottom where I'm having my columns, because I penciled that in before I started painting. I'm just testing everything. So from about there, I want this column maybe about up here, about that high. And the other one is closer to us. It's going to be a bit higher. Where are we? So I've got those lines there. It's going to be about there. Okay. Now, this, you're pretty much bringing a straight line, just pencil down here like so, to the water. Just to the water there. Boom, 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 boom. Somewhere there. Just to the water. And the same here. Down there. Now, like I said, this one here, we're just simply going to arch up above that land, come across and straight there, boom, like that. So it's coming around up here like this. And this is hopefully going to create that illusion that it's curving towards us. See, I want that land underneath the bridge. Now from the guts, there's the guts of it about there, about here. We want to come swing a nice swing that there like that. Not too many lines there. And the same again. We're going to go here. It's going to go past there. And up to this one. And then these are going to come pretty much to, let's say, to this point. Bit straight, but a bit of a curve on it. Same there and same there. And then this one is going to go straight downhill like that. And this one's going to come straight downhill like that. Okay. Now I want to block it in. Now I'm just going to use my red gold or deep orange. And I've got some primary red. Mix up whatever colour you feel is going to make your painting look like that bridge colour. There's the colour. I want to put this orange in there. That's the colour I want to use. Now the actual colour of the Golden Gate Bridge is International Orange. Now before I start painting on with this brush, because I'm brush mixing, I'm going to rewash this brush so it's not, look at that. It'd be hopeless trying to wipe it on there and then go up there and try and paint. Look how gloobly gloop it is, okay? So I've pretty much got me red and that orange mixed together. So it's like an international orangey sort of colour, as it's, so to speak. And I'll clean this and I'll start mapping the bridge in. Before I do, I just grab some cerulean blue. I almost forgot. We need a darker value in this corner here. Just something about there for the shadow colours within this bridge. Okay, so it's just the cerulean blue, the blue colour we use within the painting, okay? Now I'm using the flat brush because for me, where's this one here? I feel it's controllable. Oh my goodness, that's too wide. Look at that blob I had on the other side. So let's make sure we haven't got that happening. Here I am telling you why I use that flat brush. I'm going to have that wide now. I only wanted it about so wide, coming down to there. And that's as crooked as buggery. My God, what am I doing? We want this reasonably straight. So from there to there. So we'll get this down there. And now I'm going to gradually make it the thickness that I want it to be. And then when we add the darker values to this, it'll give it a bit more dimension. I will neaten this up when the camera's off. I'm just going to quickly get a lot of this on. Now another thing you can do if you want, where's the top of this going? About here. You can use a bit of masking tape to control the thickness. This is just me showing you another way. Now these two lines are further apart than the first two I put on because they're closer to us, okay? So keep that in mind. I just pulled up a picture of the bridge. 1, 2, 3, and a bit below the top, 4. Okay, and then you're simply making these the thickness that they've got to be. Use what brush is going to work for you. I am so stubborn, too stubborn to change the brush while I'm filming. So we'll pull that away, careful. See, the tape did make that look a bit more straighter than the other side, but it's a painting. You can have it crookedly crooked if you want. Now from the bridge, I'm going to have one about here. From underneath, 1, 2, and that's why I'm using the flat brush, and we're pretty much criss-crossing them like that, and we'll do the same on the other one. Now I want to get the base of the bridge, so from here, that line that I put on, let's see if we can keep a sharp line on that. Underneath I want sharp. Now this brush might be a little bit too fat. And getting the top half of it sharp. Getting that bottom half straight, if I can. Malcolm's no good for that. I've got a bullshit stick there, why don't I use it? So, we'll get the bottom on the bullshit stick, and let's get that nice and controlled right across there, coming down, bang, look at that. Why didn't I use a bullshit stick in the beginning? So we're coming across the top of the line now, resting on the stick, keeping that level. Join that to that thicker bit. There we go. There is, where these cables reach, there's some stuff over here. I've made the thickness at the bottom of the post here, the uprights, I've just made it a bit, I've put something in the water there. And now we've got to get these strands on. Before I do that, I'm picking up the dark colour that I mixed, and I want to get that within the structure as well. So I pretty much want to go within the centre of this base, so coming across here, and then we can grab the red again and push it through where we feel it needs to go. So I'm using the bullshit stick to keep the bottom reasonably level, I hope. Get the top of that done now. There we go. And then we'll push it with the other colour again, make things in front and behind each other. So this is pretty much all the way along here. Down here, like, watch. We're getting all this bit here darkened up. Careful where you lean your hand, Ian. Darker values in them as well. Just like so. Over here. Grabbing the darker colour, where's my hand, and I want to come behind the bridge and try and get these ropes as neat and realistic as possible without being all broken or all over the place. and gingerly try and get that bend within there. That's why I said don't do too many pencil lines. I put a few too many in there, and you can see them. This is this one here, so it's coming from here. Keep chiseling your brush as you load it. And don't forget to breathe. I'm grabbing a narrower brush just to get some dark values on here. So pretty much along there. It's up to you how detailed you want to make your bridge. And then, like I said, just get rid of those lines within there, blend them through. Now see how we've made everything a bit flat? We've got to come back with the red again, dry this darker colour if yours is too wet, and we've got to come back with the red and put the bits back in front. So grabbing your red again, this column has to come in front of there to push that back through, okay? And the same here, we want to bring this column from the red, bringing that through there like that. You might need a couple of coats to make it convincing. Now, grab the dark colour again and start grabbing these. Let's see if we can get them nice and thin. We want nice little thin. Let's go from these. And you want to get these straight as possible. Get them the reasonable distance even apart. But please, look at that. I'm going so fat in some of them. My goodness. But yeah. All the way down. It's just a time-consuming job. You're going to have to reload your brush to the inky consistency of it all. And if we bring a line from the top side first, right, this is a bit neater than the flat brush for these. The flat brush seems to make them a bit too blobby. What we can do is, see how that one broke up. Do that again, we'll do it again. We can get some in the middle there like that, coming from this side. I'm just going to get some like this now. Just mixed a bit of white and the brown with that, just so these pylons here can be kind of put in front of the structure there, just before I get the mountain in. Now I've got some black and terraline green and cadmium yellow, okay? I'll grab the green, the dark perylene green, sorry. And I've got a filbert brush, also I want a flat brush, with appropriate size, to scallop in the rocks that's ledging out into the water area there. So here, I want to sink some of this back, so I'm going to put a rock here, the base of it flat, about there, okay? I'll get it flat, not those little dags underneath it. There we go. And then just start bringing the size of it in front of there. Map that in somewhere here. About there. You can come over that because we're going to put a little bit of light on top of him and make him sit that stuff in the background back. So you want the bottom of it reasonably level. Here, nice skinny something there. That'll do. We've got this just getting cut back by some rocks here. Keep it level. Level, 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 level. Straight off the painting. Now start bringing it up to where you want. This can be, this is a lot closer. Ginning about there. Ginning around. And if you're fair dinkum about your art, you'll be quite willing to put the time, effort and practice into it. Now this is going to come up above here. See all this here now? We're going to bring all this rock in front of there with this colour and coming off the painting up there like that. Keeping it level. Get rid of any light bits. And we might even put just a bit of something in front of that as well. So let's just imagine there's some more here. Boom, we'll make this up with the highlights. There. I've dried everything on the canvas. Now those rocks, I just want to get some light in them. Just come from the top. Take a lot of that paint off. Come from the top, the very top. And then you're going to just scratch it down. If it's too bright, darken it up, but you just got some light refracting off the top of that rock there. There we go. I'm getting the pure black, and within here I want to just dance in some, like where those rocks are there, I want to put them behind, and I want to get some of this scraping up the hill there, this there like that. Some bits of it here, this is dark black. Now I want to add the slightest bit of yellow into that, but this bit here I want some land colour on there. So what I'll quickly do is I'll grab the bit of yellow and that burnt umber that I had down there, because I want to kind of get some of this just kind of from the top there coming down into that darker areas there, scalloping it through, fingering down, ridging down. There we go. And then I'm going to use the brush, wipe a lot of that off if I have to, and scrumble it into that darker colour, just like so, so it looks more, that's kind of sand and stone part on that bit. Grabbing the filbert and that terraline green, I want to put a little bit of yellow in there, just to get some real dark green there sort of going, just dark. And I just want to use this brush just to try and take a lot of it off, just to try and scrumble some bits of texture up into there within the black. Leave the blacks there, it's sort of dark. Got lots of darks here. I just want some of this dancing around there. Okay, grab some of the, I've got some of the craft white into that pure black. It's carbon black to be exact, if you want to know. I'm just greying up some of this, like so. There we go. I've got a very small detailed flat brush here. And like I said, those rocks I put in there, which were here, we'll try and get some gingerly bits of light hitting stuff here, just like so. Sink that back there with some of this, okay? Wipe the paint off it and get rid of any solid edges if you want to make it look a bit more like that kind of look. So put that in front of there and pick up some more. And now I want to, let's say there's some top stuff here getting hit with light, just about there. Wipe the paint off it and scrumble that down into there. We might have to put some more black into that. I think I will. Too much grey went there. But anyway, you will get the gist of what the guru's doing. And a bit more grey now. Now this here, we got, these are rocks. Boom. Another one there. Boom. And get the brush on its edge there. And kind of put a few rocks in there now. Grab a bit more white so it's even more highlighted, and just gingerly, what you just put in there then, just gingerly highlight some of that stuff and those rocks there that you just put in, sinking stuff backwards and forwards. Maybe some a little bit up there, maybe not too much. Now I've just put some of that craft white on my flat brush, very little, and I'm just gingerly putting some, you know, white misty action across these bottom of these rocks here, and it's just sinking the bottom of that down into the water there, something like that. Make sure it's dry, and you know, highlighting some of this out here a bit more. There we go, that's all right. I'm going to sign this and then we'll whack a frame on it. I'll just put a nice dark signature here. Now I want to thank everybody who became a patron of mine. Much appreciated. Thank you for your monthly support. There is a link in the description below if you want to become a patron. Patrons get to see what comes out way before everybody else. Become a member of my art group page. Answer the questions and say you saw me on YouTube. Okay, let's whack the frame on there. See how that looks, eh? There we go. That ain't too shabby, is it? We've got the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Beautiful, cool to warm sky settling down at the end of the day. And you know what? I know you can do it. Interesting painting. A lot of fun doing that. Takes a lot longer than some of the other ones, but they can't all be too easy or simple. But that's not that hard either. A bit of practice, you can do it okay. And be sure to tell your friends if you like what I'm doing. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Goodbye, good luck, and good on you.